The size of this mini envelope board might be mini, but the many projects you can make with it are to the max. Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik, and I recently discovered the mini version of the envelope punch board from We Are Memory Keepers at a local stamp shop, and it was just too cute to resist. I have the full-size We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board, but I haven't played with it for a while, and the mini version has been so fun to experiment with. I'm going to show a bunch of different ways you can create with it. First of all, of course, it makes many different sizes of super cute little envelopes. These are just some of the sizes. All the information that you need is right on the punch board. The smallest one would be 1 by 1, and I have a card a little later that I show how cute it is to put some of these on a card. And then I have 1.5 and 2 by 2, 1.5 squared and 2 by 2. Now the size that you see there is the size of the card or little piece of paper that would fit inside. So these are just slightly bigger than that. And then of course there are also ones that aren't square. There's 1 by 1.5, 1.5 by 2, 1 3/4 by 2, and 1.5 by 2.5. So these are just a few of the ones that I created easily and quickly just as examples. The largest one that has measurements on the board is 4 by 4. So that starts with a 6 1/4 inch piece of paper, and I've made quite a few of those. So these are just some examples of the many little envelopes that you can make with this mini envelope punch board. My favorite size of those listed is 2 by 2.5, and I've written that the measurements right there, so because that's the size that I have made the most. They're super cute for the front of a card, and in this case the flowers are bursting out of an envelope. Happy hello. Now all the details on all the cards and projects I shared today will be on my blog, and of course links to those blog posts and the products featured are in the description box. But this was just the first card I created, and I put one of those envelopes that are 2 by 2.5 on the front. But another reason why it's my favorite size is it is perfect for gift cards. So I made this envelope out of two-sided floral paper, and then I made a little card that fits in there for you, some pretty dies, and then on the back I made one of those envelopes that are 2 by 2.5, and a gift card just fits in there perfectly. So that's happens to be my favorite size, and here's another one that I made. This envelope's a little bit bigger. This might be the 4 by 4, and I used a pretty penny black picture there, Happy Bird Day, and then on the inside again a little envelope that a gift card fits into perfectly. So that is a real fun application, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to make that size or any size of envelope with this board. So this paper is 3 3/4 inch square, and it tells you that right here. It says paper size, card size, and score line. So on here, and you put it in and you line it up and punch the first side at 2 1/8. So the measurements at the top are really easy to see, and first thing I have to do is pull a little scoring tool out. I line this up at 2 1/8, and I punch, and then I score. Now it's so easy here. You can see this line just to come from this side up, but you can also sometimes, if that line isn't real visible, you can just kind of feel at the top here on the right where the line starts, and that's where you're going to score. Now then on the second and other sides, you simply line this little pointy arrow thing here up to the line that you've already, the scored line that you've already created. You punch and you score. And then you do it again And again, this line that I scored here, and I don't know how easy you can see from there, but the line that I scored here is where I line up with that little arrow, and then I punch and I score, and then one more, punch and score. Now also on here on this side is a corner rounder. So I know that I want to, on the bigger side of these, although you could do all four, it's not a big deal, but I want to round those edges a little bit. And so that part is complete. And now all I'm going to do is fold on those scored lines. And that folds up to create the envelope. And of course this will fold down when you want it to close. And it has a little rounded edge, or you can use a paper rounder. I kind of most of the time actually prefer using my corner rounder. It's a little more defined, and so it's, you know, it's up to you which tool you want to use. And then I would just take some score tape or some other adhesive and put a little piece here. I have an easier time getting that cover off with a pokey. And that's all it is to it. And that again is perfect for a gift card or on the front of a card. That's exactly what I did here with that pretty paper is from Stampin' Up. And I created that envelope, and then I made a bunch of flowers, and the flowers are coming out of the envelope. Here is another super cute card that I made with these little envelopes. This is the 1x1, and I think these were the 2x2, and it's on the front of a mini slimline, and then these little messages are in here. I used some stickers from Pep Stickers, and I'm telling my grandson that we just can't wait to see him. We're going to visit at the lake house and go swimming and then have s'mores. And so these little notes come out of the envelopes, and there's notes on the back, love Grandma and Grandpa. So I thought that was another cute little application for these mini envelopes. But what else can we make with this mini envelope punch board? How about a super cute little box for treats, or another gift card, or both? This box a gift card would fit into. I made it with a mirror card from Paper Wishes that changes colors, and I added a cute bow, and I also made that bow with the mini envelope punch board. So I'm going to show you how to make that, and look at what I have popped in here are some mini Ghirardelli candies, and the bow in this case holds it shut. So I'm going to show you how to make that. I'm starting with a 5x5 piece of mirror card, and I'm going to line it up at 2 inches, and I'm going to punch. And here's a case where I can't see that end, so I'm just going to kind of feel here to the right of the yeah, I'm supposed to, that's where that line is though. I think it'll work. Okay. And then, okay, so and then I'm going to move it over to 2 3/4, 2 3/8. In this case I can see that. I think it's still going to work. I hope so. Then we're going to turn it 180 degrees and line it up to 2. Now, I was able to do this before. Yeah, there it is. And then move it over to 2 3/8. Then we're going to turn it 90 degrees, and we are going to line it up to those lines that were already created. Now, I think this is going to work. I did not have and then we're turning it to the other side, and again we're going to use the lines that we already created. And then I am going to cut out these little tabs there to make the corners here straight. And then I am going to fold on these scored lines. I see a little piece I still need to cut out there. I tried this with just regular designer paper, and that was not strong enough. And then I tried it with two-sided patterned cardstock, and that too didn't seem strong enough. So I decided to go with a mirror card, but that did make it a little more difficult as far as the scoring. So you can experiment with what might work for you. Regular cardstock, a good 100, 110 pound would certainly work. But I decided it wasn't pretty enough, and I didn't really want to do extra layers on there. So now you can see that it's going to be formed into a box. And I am going to take some more score tape along here. And then when I put it together, I want to try to make sure that the bottom and the side are straight. Yep, that looks pretty good. And now I could take some of these. I think a regular size Garibaldi certainly would fit in there too, but I got these cute little mini ones with different flavors. And so that fits into there. Now on this side, I just decided to cut out a little tag from the blue Persuasion paper pack from Paper Wishes, and this one says, "Let's celebrate you." Now I do have some removable dots from Thermalweb, and I could easily use that to seal this, but I decided this bow was so cute, and you can also make that with this, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So I have a piece here of 6 inches by 3/4 strip of pattern paper. Now I know you could make all sorts of different size bows, but this smaller size was really, really cute. So I was going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to put it in the mini envelope punch board at 1 1/4 from each side. So that's 1 1/4. And I also want it at 3 inches. 3 inches would be the center. So 3, and then I'm going to turn it over to do 1 1/4 from this side. And then we also want it at, and I'm not doing any scoring. Did you see that? In fact, I could put the scoring tool away. We're not using that on this. And then on the other side, we also want 1 1/4. That's 1 1/8. That's why it doesn't seem right. 1 1/4. And then 3 inches. And then on this side, I also want 1 1/4. So our indentations are opposite each other on this. And then the lady on the video that I was watching showed how you can also make those cute little flags at the end very easily with this. So I'm just going to take the end here, and I am going to put it in the punch and try to have it even on both sides, centered, and then punch, and then I have a cute little flag there. So it's very easy to make the whole thing in this mini envelope punch board. So now we're going to fold it. This gets folded in half and brought to the center and lined up, and then this piece here gets folded back, and that is then the ends of the bow. So once again, we fold this side to the center, and then we fold this back, and so that center is all lined up there. And then I have a tiny little strip here that is 1/8 by 1 1/4. And again, it totally depends on the size bow you want, and you could make your center bigger or littler. I thought that this striped paper here would be just perfect for this. And I have some mini glue dots. I like the micro actually for this and for many purposes. I'm going to put a little micro glue dot on the center there, and then fold this up again and put that down in the center, and then turn it over, and then I'm going to put a micro glue dot on either side of that as well. And you could use regular glue or whatever you might have. I just think glue dots hold things so well, and this size is perfect for this. Alright, so I'm going to fold this up and push down, and then fold this one up and push down. And that is going to hold the bow together. And then you can take something like a little bone folder or something if you want to kind of open that bow up a little bit there. Isn't that cute? I'm also going to use glue dots just on the very tips there to hold this down and hopefully let us slide that top cover into it. And I think I need one more, and for it to not stick to my fingers. So if I put this on either side there, push that down, the cover will be held down by that cute little bow, and then of course it can be slid open and the candies or gift card or whatever might be inside will slide out for the lucky person who's getting that gift. Now here's another project that I made. I love to make mini slimlines, and in this case, instead of flowers, I have hearts coming out of that envelope that I created there. But I also discovered that there is a way to make mini slimline envelopes with a punch board. Now this one does require the larger size. I found it on the internet, and I thought, well, as long as I am showing you mini slimline cards, I'm just going to, as a bonus, show you how to make a mini slimline with a regular size envelope punch. Now I think many of the earlier projects that I showed you, except for the really tiny ones, but maybe those two, could be made on this board. So if that's all you have, you could go ahead and try them. I just thought that mini size was really, really cute. But there are some things, of course, that you can't do on the mini size. And full disclosure, I do have an envelope, I have a die that makes mini slimline envelopes very quickly. But if you don't have one and you do have this, and you know we all have this extra paper, I thought I would throw in a bonus tutorial here on how to make a mini slimline envelope easily with a regular size envelope punch board. So I'm starting with a piece of designer paper that is 8 by 8, and I am going to put it into the regular size envelope punch board, and of course this is also from We Are Memory Keepers, and I'm putting it at the 3-inch line. And I need to score too. And then I am, I wonder if it'd be easier to see on this side. The line is right there. I'm sure that you can't see it. It's hard for me even to see it. But you want to line it up with the line that you just created. And punch and score. And then you're turning it, and once again you're lining it up with that line that you just scored. And starting up at the top right, you're scoring down. Now I'm going to fold on all of those lines that we just created. And I'm going to use my corner rounder. There is a corner rounder on that, but I prefer my regular. This one I think is, I'm not sure who this is from. K-Success maybe? Anyway, it's just my favorite paper corner rounder from years and years ago. Now, these actually end up being bigger than what you need. And the lady that designed this, the video, talked about cutting off the corners so that this just went together better. So I made a template at approximately where I want to cut that off. And I can see that this one needs to be trimmed just a little bit too. So we'll just use our Fisker's cutter, cut that little piece off, and then I think I'm just going to cut a little bit off of this side as well. It just makes it lay a little bit nicer to have a straight edge there rather than the two very long pointy edges. So once again, we're going to take some score tape. I put it along there. That should hold it pretty good. I don't think I need any more. And then I'm going to put it along the bottom piece here. So this is going to be a top opening mini slimline envelope, and I just think that's a really cute idea to have it open at the top rather than the traditional way. So I made this for this card that I made for my grandson, and when I want to go send it, I simply slip it in there, seal this up, and then I can use an address label there or just write with a black marker and put his address there, and I have a very easy to make mini slimline envelope for that size cards. So I love to make mini slimline cards, and if you do too, now you know how you can make a mini slimline envelope. I had great fun playing with my mini envelope punch board from We Are Memory Keepers, and hope my projects encourage you to give the ideas and products a try. Watch the next video for some more ideas, and I hope you stop back again soon.